All right, so our first question, please tell us about the work of SUM. What problem does SUM seek to address?
So let me say what SUM is, and that'll give us direction as to what we do. So SUM is a faith-inspired, interfaith, community-based, multi-dimensional human services and housing organization. So that's a mouthful, but it's both, I think, both normative and descriptive of SUM and what we do. It describes who we are, what we do. That's the descriptive part, and the normative part is how we do it. So we provide a full spectrum of services for needy and poor and vulnerable people in our nation's capital, with the idea, the objective being moving people from a place of great need and deficiency to eventual self-sufficiency, and for many of our residents and our clients to move them up that slope, if you will, to eventual prosperity, both material, emotional, and spiritual as well.
How has the pandemic affected SUM?
So the COVID pandemic crisis has affected SUM in our work in a lot of ways. Obviously, it has caused us to need to pivot what we do and how we do it, moving as many of our services we can to a digital delivery platform, if you will. But the point I would stress is our core services, each and every one of our 9 service lines is up and running in one way or another. We're challenged to do it in a safe way, making sure we do the physical distancing part, making sure we engage people in those services in a way that is safe for us and safe for them. But our 9 service lines are up and running, and we're delivering and meeting the needs of our residents and our clients. One of the things we found, and this I think shouldn't surprise anybody, but during the pandemic, the food insecurity of vulnerable people has been amplified incredibly. So more people need our food, whether it's through our pantries or whether through our meals to go. And so we're finding the demand for food and the increase in food insecurity is an area that we've had to respond to, and we have. We're meeting that need as it comes in the door, if you will, or comes up to the window or up to the food pantry garage entry. But it is a reality of this crisis. The other thing I would say is in pivoting to address some of the outcome from COVID-19, we're doing things like making wellness calls to our senior residents, our residents in our senior housing, to make sure that they're safe, to keep them engaged mentally and intellectually, but also to provide some modicum of entertainment and stimulation for them as well. So all our services are up and running, but we're having to deliver them in different ways.
How did you get involved in this work, and what has been a memorable moment for you?
I can't remember when I wasn't involved in this work. So what I mean by that is it's kind of knitted into my DNA, if you will, without overstating it. My parents were obsessive activist folks engaged in the community. So as a child, I often joke and say a lot of kids grew up, television was a big part of their growing up. When I wasn't playing sports or doing homework, I was basically in community meetings with my parents. So my grounding in this space of serving people literally goes back to my earliest memories. In terms of memorable things since I've been at SUM for 3 months, I wouldn't point to any particular exciting, illuminating episode. What I would say, and this is one of the things I think it's important for people who invest in SUM and invest in the work we do, invest in our mission and in the people we serve, is to understand how talented our people are, our team is here. I've had broad experience in government, in the corporate world, in the legal world, and I've got to tell you, I'm not sure what I expected when I came to SUM in terms of talent, but what I have found here is a talent that's so deep and rich. It far exceeds whatever that specific expectation I had when I came. It exceeds not only my expectation, but what I would have described as my aspiration for the people that I would find here. So we have my takeaway and my memorable moment is just the moments that I continue to have as I meet our operational leads, as well as the people doing the work in the field, and just being amazed at how forward-thinking they are, how execution-focused they are, and how self-reflective and critical they are about what they do and how they do it, always trying to figure out how to do it more and better.
How can the community get involved? How can people help?
Biggest thing people can do now is be financial social investors in our work. And they can go to our website at www.some.org/donate and make an investment in us. And that's how we view it. It is a donation, it is a gift, but I like to view it as a gift with an expectation that when you invest in us, you expect that we will take your dollar and leverage that dollar to provide and meet the needs of people across the spectrum of services that I described. We provide from food to clothing to housing to training to health care. All that stuff we're going to do, and we're going to do in an amplified way when there's an amplified need.